What's up, YouTube? It's your boy CADETSFOREAL. You already know what's going on. 10 weird GTA 6 facts you may not know. Like, comment, subscribe if y'all finna play GTA 6 when it drops. So everybody better like, comment. You know what? That's a good.
In today's video, we're going to go through
These videos ain't gonna get views
that you may not know about GTA 6. Now, this video idea came about because recently I was live streaming, and during my live streams, I get loads of questions about GTA 6, and of course, being a huge Grand Theft Auto nerd, I've spent quite a lot of time researching everything to do with the game. And I brought up some of the points that I'm going to bring up in this video, and I was surprised by the amount of people that didn't know this information. So, some things in this video you may already know, but some things you may not. So to kick things off, when we got trailer 2, they also of course released screenshots alongside the trailer. Now, we actually received one screenshot for every week between trailer 1 and trailer 2. Now, this could either be a crazy coincidence, or it could be Rockstar just saying, sorry for the wait, here's a screenshot for every single week you've had to wait since trailer 1. I thought that was a pretty cool piece of information, and it only gets cooler from here on out. Now, of course, at the start of the second trailer, Jason says that he's just fixing some leaks.
Yeah.
What you doing up there? I'm just fixing some leaks.
Now, of course, this is a bit of a nod to the 2022 leaks where Rockstar were the victim of a phishing scam and loads of leaked footage from the game managed to circulate online. But what a lot of you may not know is that a lot of the shots that we see in the trailer are locations that were in the 2022 leaks. In fact, every single shot in the trailer had some reference to the leaks.
Facts.
Now, of course, I can't show the leaks on the screen, but there's loads of things that you may recognize from the leaks, and that was the whole point in the trailer. Trailer 2 was Rockstar's magnum opus to say, yeah, sorry that you had to see all of that before, this is really what our game looks like, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now, the next thing I want to bring up is actually something that I've only just found out myself, which I think was really cool. Do you know when Jason's climbing down the ladder from the roof? Well, if you look at the shorts he's wearing, the shoes he's wearing, that was Jason's outfit from the 2022 leaks. That's exactly what he was wearing in the leaks. I thought that was pretty cool because, of course, the clothing that Jason was wearing in the leaks is probably just something that they threw onto him as a character just for the sake of testing. And to actually keep that back in and Rockstar play on those leaks was pretty cool. Now, number 4, and this is one that is probably more widely known, but I'm still surprised by the amount of people that didn't know this. After the trailer 2 came out, Rockstar actually put a post out there saying that 50% of the shots from trailer 2 were gameplay. Like actually gameplay from the game, and of course all they've done is just move the camera to match shots. Now, after seeing that, a lot of it made sense. There's a few shots in here which are very, very clearly gameplay. But the fact that most people, and maybe you're one of the people that did notice it, but the fact that 99.9% of people didn't notice that half the trailer was gameplay just goes to show how good the gameplay looks. Now, that brings us on to the next point, which is the entirety of the trailer, from what we understand, was captured on a base PlayStation 5. Now, there are some things that kind of give that information away. Firstly, the frame rate. The whole trailer was about 30 frames per second, however, there was dropout in certain scenes. There's a couple of scenes where it looked like it was dropping down into the mid 20 FPS mark, maybe even a little bit lower, and there's a slight bit of stuttering. Obviously, no one really cares. The trailer looked awesome.
Exactly.
But there's things that are worth noting for the context of the trailer. It's also worth remembering that for Grand Theft Auto 5 and even Red Dead Redemption, trailers 1 and 2 really didn't perform as well as the final game did. The game is still being optimized, and based on a recent leak that we heard about Rockstar and Sony working together for the optimization of GTA 6, when the game comes out, we're probably going to get a much smoother 30 frames per second, which then brings us on to the next point. 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. So at the moment, there are a lot of rumors and speculation flying around about Grand Theft Auto 6, but based on my conversations with people that are a bit more in the know than I am, it looks like we're going to be getting 4K 60 frames per second on the PS5 Pro. And this brings us on to the next thing, which is frame rates. Now, we really don't know for sure 100% about the frame rates for each console, each graphic option for the game. And obviously this video has the word facts in the title, so we're not going to start saying things are as they aren't. But I have it on good authority that there will definitely be a 60 frame per second mode on all PlayStation consoles.
Perfect.
Now, to be clear, you're not going to be playing this game on the base PS5 at 60 frames per second in 4K. It's just not going to happen. And even on the Pro, there may be some trade-off for having that 60 frames per second. Now, my next couple of sentences are speculation. Ignore the facts in the title. But it's most likely on the base PlayStations, you're going to be getting maybe 60 frames per second at either 1080p or 1440p or something like that.
That's
or
not
maybe
bad.
60 frames per second at only 1080p.
I'm still getting
we
the
really
Pro.
don't know 100% yet, but it's worth noting from what we've seen from the trailer that's running at 30 frames per second that that would be a good baseline of where to base your expectations for a 30 frames per second experience, of course with the hope that we get 60 frames per second in other modes.
Auto insurance rates went up again in 2024, which means it might be a smart time to shop around for a new policy.
Now, the next thing is Phil Cassidy's son. So Phil Cassidy was referenced in the trailer, and of course this confused a lot of people, myself included. I grew up with GTA Vice City, and I was a bit perplexed as to how this man has managed to not age in 40 years since Vice City. Well, based on all the information we have so far, this is kind of using the rule of Occam's razor, which is the thing that requires the least amount of assumptions tends to be the one that's true. For all intents and purposes, it would appear that this is actually Phil Cassidy's son, and Phil's...
Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Hey, that is true, because like you said, Phil Cassidy looks the same, bro. Like he hasn't aged at all. We don't know.
Ammunition is just a family business, and this is probably Phil Jr. Or the other option, and the only other option I can give you, is that Rockstar have completely abandoned all of the rules of the Rockstar universe and completely stepped outside that and brought an old character into a modern game whilst kind of breaking some of the law. I don't think Rockstar would do that, and I think if they do it, it would be really weird. But this is one of the things that I'm really keen to hear what your thoughts are down below. Now, the next thing is you all may be aware on Rockstar's website that we can download all of the screenshots, all of the trailers, and all of the marketing and promotional material directly from Rockstar Games. Well, apparently that wasn't originally the plan. After the release of Trailer 1 on YouTube, it took a whole year before people realized that there was actually a higher quality version of that trailer on a website called Bilibili. This is a Chinese website that has a way better compression algorithm / almost no compression compared to YouTube. So for Trailer 2, Rockstar decided to make it available on their website that people could download and access all of these files without having to deal with the compression algorithms of various different hosting services such as Google services. Now, number 8 is kind of a funny one, but technically people will be able to play the game early. No, hear me out. The game comes out on the 26th of May next year. That's no secret. We all know that. But that's the 26th of May GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, not the 26th of May for everywhere. So some countries are currently seeing the 25th of May on the PlayStation Store, and they're going to actually, technically speaking, be playing the game a day earlier than everyone else. Obviously, it's all at the same time, but I thought that was pretty cool nonetheless. Now, the next one is the point that I haven't seen many people talk about, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Pretty much the entirety of Trailer 1 was heavily focused around social media.
Yes.
And they were utilizing social media as a way to tell the story of everything going on in the game. Now, to be fair to Rockstar, it was actually a very smart decision. Obviously, this was only about 75% of the way through the game's development. But what they actually did is they used social media as a bit of a crutch. Rather than having to have full polished graphics and have everything looking absolutely perfect, they utilized the social media as a way to actually mask some of what was actually going on. So we were looking at basically everything through a phone screen. This was a really smart decision on Rockstar's part, but then that brings us to Trailer 2. In Trailer 2, there was only 1 or 2 references to social media. It looks like the creative language that they used for Trailer 1 was completely abandoned for Trailer 2. Now, we can have conversations about whether that means that maybe Rockstar decided to dial back some of the social media stuff, maybe they decided to abandon some of that, and to be honest, that's not surprising for Rockstar. Grand Theft Auto 5 was supposed to have refueling mechanics in it. They ended up abandoning that. There's loads of things that get pulled from games during development. There's things that we'll see in trailers that actually won't make it into the final game because the game is still a work in progress. However, this brings us on to our next point. In Trailer 2, we've spent a lot of time looking at the graphics, the visuals, and the aesthetic for the entirety of the game. But a lot of people have entirely missed the sound design. Now, Trailer 2 has loads of blank spaces in it, where all we can hear is either vocal dialogue or sound effects, audio mixing, without any music. All music is just from an ambient thing in the room, such as a radio, a car radio. Rockstar really focused on trying to give us the sights and sounds of Vice City rather than trying to give us a music video which is more like promotional material. Trailer 2 didn't feel like so much of a trailer and more of a showcase. Now obviously those two sound the exact same, but trust me, they are very different. Trailer 1 was a blanket piece of advertising. That was to show, hey, here's some stuff that we're doing. Here's what you can expect from this massive new awesome world we've built. Trailer 2 acted like more of a technology showcase. They showed us a game which looked absolutely insane, running on a base PlayStation, running at a pretty stable FPS considering, with some of the craziest audio engineering and sound design going into it, as well as some of the creation tools in the game. Obviously half of that trailer was gameplay, and I don't think Rockstar have really got the credit enough for Trailer 2 being a technical showcase rather than a piece of advertising material. I still really want to do a technical breakdown of Trailer 2 and talk about the sound design, the way that the audio has been mixed for it, because that's a whole video in itself. In fact, the only qualification I do have is mixing and audio engineering, so maybe that'd be a good video. You guys let me know. But Trailer 1 and Trailer 2 served two completely different purposes. And as a technical showcase, I personally feel like Trailer 2 did an amazing job. But let me know what you think down below. Let me know if there's stuff in this list that you didn't already know, or let me know if you're one of the very few people that knew all of it. Thank you.
Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really gonna dig deeper in this Grand Theft Auto 6 content. I'm gonna spam it. I'm just gonna post every day on YouTube. That's the plan. TikTok, I'm getting paid on there good every month, so I'm just chilling right now. But as of next year for this, it's gonna change lives, and I have a plan. So like, comment, subscribe, and we're up next.